On that fateful day, Jose Martinez achieved the unthinkable. He won the title Tuesday twice. A stunning feat considering the world's top grandmasters had competed in the same tournament. But instead of universal praise, his victory only stirred suspicion. People began asking questions, and soon enough, they found answers.
I just don't trust them. Sorry. Because this cannot be an accident.
Digging into Martinez's record, skeptics discovered something odd. Over the board, he was ranked 183rd in the world. Yet somehow, on chess.com's Blitz leaderboard, he had cracked into the top 10. Something definitely did not add up. As people began uncovering inconsistencies, accusations started flying around. Forums buzzed, Twitter exploded, which made the chess world split into different segments. To make matters even worse, chess.com, the platform that hosted the tournament, claimed they found nothing suspicious in Jose Martinez's play. With the numerous concerns raised online, they found no red flags at all. But rather than this to de-escalate the issue, it only fueled the fire. Many top players began to question the integrity of chess.com's anti-cheating system, claiming it left them vulnerable, as they are always forced to compete against players who, in their words, should not even be on the same board as them. Trust was breaking, and just when it seems like things could not get any worse, the big names began to step in. Top players, even Yan and the former world champion himself, Vladimir Kramnik, started weighing in as well, bringing more attention to the issue. Their comments were not direct accusations, but the glances, the tone, the choice of words all pointed to one thing: doubt. They did not trust Jose Martinez. Eventually, the tension reached a boiling point, and a proposal was made. Vladimir Kramnik and Jose Martinez agreed to settle things the old-fashioned way. If Jose was truly clean, then he shouldn't have no problem playing Kramnik live over the board with the whole world watching. So Jose agreed, but there was a slight problem. Kramnik was a much better player than him, but that wouldn't matter because if he lost, not just by a little margin, but by a wild margin, it would raise serious questions about his online success. People would start to connect the dots. How does someone cracked into the top 10 on chess.com under fast time controls, but struggled over the board? The message would be clear. Maybe those online wins weren't skill at all. Maybe under real person in-person scrutiny, the magic Jose Martinez had disappears. For many, this match was just about proving skills, but for Jose, it was about proving his innocence. In the first segment of the match, they played 6 classical games over the board. The result was a deadlock 3-3. No dominance, no collapse, just tension over the board as they went head-to-head against each other. But that was not all. They still had some scores to settle online. The next phase was where things got even more interesting. They were moving online. This was Jose's stuff. The format was Blitz, just like the one he rose into chess.com's top 10. This was really the true test. Was he really strong online, or was something else helping him? Now, all eyes were on the screen, and every move was under the microscope. As expected, Jose Martinez won the first game of the online segment. But during the second game, when the moment of truth was about to come out, chaos took over. After the game ended in a draw, Kramnik abruptly walked out of the venue, furious. He complained that after he made his move, his clock did not stop. Instead, it kept ticking down, while Jose Martinez's clock remained frozen. The arbiters rushed in, and the live broadcast began to stutter.
Kramnik is annoyed about something. I don't know what he's annoyed about. I will get some sort of insight there. What happened? What's going on? I don't know.
And in that moment, the entire life to Vladimir Kramnik. Kramnik claimed someone had tampered with his clock and demanded both games be cancelled, arguing the issue might have affected the first match without him realizing. Kramnik also emphasized that he had a winning position in the second game, but was forced to settle for a draw not because of the moves, but because of the inconsistencies in his clock. On the other hand, Jose Martinez did not buy this narrative. He dismissed Kramnik's claim as just another bluff, but to his surprise, The arbiter stepped in and backed Kramnik.
Un segundo.
Es que en su reloj sí que marcaba eso.
¿Sí? ¿En qué momento?
O sea, no, yo lo estaba viendo
pero
y él...
¿en cuál momento?
O sea, al final de la partida, ¿vale? Él estaba jugando con segundos. Y cuando acabó la partida dice que le marca un tiempo que no es el que él tenía.
She confirmed the time displayed on Kramnik's clock before the game ended was different from what was shown after the game ended. Worse still, she added that Kramnik's system showed Jose Martinez had flagged, yet the game continued. Suddenly, it wasn't just talk, there were actual discrepancies, and now both sides had reasons to doubt. In the wake of the glitch, no one really knew what had happened, but in the absence of facts, theories began to swirl in the feverish corners of online forums, comment sections, and late-night conversations. Some imagined it was a remote intrusion. They painted a scenario where an unknown IP had somehow slipped into the system, attempting to hijack the match in real time. Others whispered about wireless interface. What if, hypothetically, a device placed close to the board disrupted the signal? Could something as mundane as a mobile phone nearby have thrown off the sensors? It hadn't happened, but the idea caught on because it could have happened. There was also the strange asymmetry of the glitch. Only Kramnik's clock had been affected. That detail, however minor, fanned the flames. If it were a system-wide bug, wouldn't both sides have glitched? And perhaps most provocative of all, someone floated the idea that an admin account had been active during the game. No evidence and no confirmation, just a lingering question. Who had access and why? They weren't facts. They weren't even allegations. They were ideas thrown against the wall in a moment where clarity was missing, and the stakes felt sky high. Because of this, Kramnik proposed finishing the rest of the match over the board. He said he no longer trusted chess.com and even suggested the platform itself might be the reason behind the glitch. After all, they had banned him in the past, and in his words, he felt like a target. But Jose wasn't having it at all. Playing over the board, that was like a fish out of water for him. His strength had always been online and everyone knew it. Kramnik, on the other hand, thrived over the board, and to Jose, that proposal didn't feel like a fair fight. It felt like a trap. The organizers finally reached a decision. While they promised to investigate the technical issue and whether someone was truly targeting Kramnik, the show had to go on. They agreed on a compromise: 4 more games over the board, and just as many predicted, Kramnik dominated. He won 2 games and drew 2 games, pulling ahead in the match. The score was now 6.5 to Kramnik and 5.5 to Jose Martinez. And that was the end for day 1 of the event. The next day was all about negotiation. After hours on back and forth, both sides eventually agreed the 2 online games that was tainted by the glitch would be cancelled. That reset the scores to 6-4 in favor of Kramnik. Also in the agreement was that on the second day, they would play 4 more games over the board. And when they began, the first game ended in a draw. Kramnik took the second, extending his lead, but then Jose struck back, winning the final 2 games in style, which made the score 7.5 to 6.5 in favor of Kramnik. The third day of the event was the online segment, the part Jose had been waiting for. 14 games remained, but just as things were about to resume, a new problem surfaced, one that nearly derailed the entire match. Vladimir requested the match be shortened to 24 games, citing fatigue from the chaotic event of day 2. Jose was open to this change, but only if the time control shifted from 3+2 to 3+1. But guess what? Vladimir Kramnik refused, so Jose pulled back, didn't accept to the deal, and the game stayed at 28 games or nothing. Going into the online segment, Kramnik led by a point, and to everyone's surprise, he won the first game. The second ended in a draw, pushing the score to 8.5 to 6.5, with Kramnik pulling ahead in the very format where Jose was believed to be the strongest. If Kramnik managed to dominate the online segment, it would raise uncomfortable questions. After all, how do you explain being top 10 on chess.com, yet struggling to beat someone who, while legendary, isn't even ranked among the best on the site? As if Jose Martinez heard all of this, some games later, he leveled the scores to 9-9.
No. Oh no, he just... Oh no.
Acaba de igualar el match José Martínez. Acaba de igualar el match, dando la vuelta a la partida. Ojo.
The match was finally settling into rhythm. Everything seemed on track until Kramnik raised another concern again. He suggested there was something odd about the time Jose was taking to make his moves. The arbiter looked puzzled, but Kramnik quickly clarified that he wasn't accusing him of cheating. He just wanted Jose's moves to be monitored going forward for transparency.
One move is
2 seconds?
62 seconds, which is making 124 seconds per move.
82 moves.
After the restart, both players traded wins, bringing the match to 10-10 deadlock. But after that, the truth eventually began to reveal itself. The gap between the two players began to widen. What was once a 1-point difference became 2, and then 3. And with only 2 games left to conclude the competition and the event, the outcome was no longer in doubt. Victory was certain. It was either slipping out of Jose's hand or perhaps slipping right into Kramnik's. With only 2 games remaining, there was no chance for a comeback. The match and the story was all but over. And just like that, the final game ended. The chat exploded. The commentators were silent. A cheater had been exposed live on camera. For a moment, it felt obvious. The narrative had been building for days. Kramnik had warned us. He had raised the alarms, and now, with the match over, the evidence seemed undeniable. How could a player ranked in the global top 10 online suddenly crumble over the board? How could Kramnik, long retired, dominate the very arena Jose was known for? It all pointed to one direction. Until it didn't, because when the final score was read out loud, Jose Martinez had won, fair and square. The so-called cheater was the champion, and the legend who had tried to expose him was left with only questions. But while Jose and his fans celebrated, the arbiter were once again dealing with Kramnik. He insisted something was off and requested a full review after the match. At this point, Jose Martinez was already leading with 3 points, and there were only 2 games remaining. But rather than Kramnik to quit, he insisted he was going to complete all the games because he felt there was something still wrong about the event. And truth be told, in the 27th game, his suspicion came to a head. Kramnik claimed his moves were not reaching the server. He lost on time, not by mistake, he argued, but by sabotage. The match was already decided. Jose was the champion, but Kramnik refused to accept the result. To this day, no one can say for sure what or who was interfering with his system during the chaotic showdown. Only one thing is certain: the truth never fully made it to the board. If at this point you are still watching my video, I really and genuinely want to appreciate you for watching my video to this point. And I just have one favor from you. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. And most importantly, please share this video as well, because I'm a small YouTuber, I'm a new voice in the chess community, and the only way I'll be able to get across to people is if you share my video to your people, to your chess fans that you know, to your chess pal, to your chess friends. Thank you very much. Subscribe for more videos, because there's no chance you are going to see my channel again if you do not subscribe. But once you subscribe, you have already locked me down for another video, and I'm 100% going to give you the best of the best, because all these videos are well researched. So thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for watching to this point. I really appreciate. So please subscribe now.